Number 16 says they want us to write an inequality in standard form. Again, that's going to be important, so let's circle that part right there, standard form. That best describes the following graph. Now this graph is an inequality. There's some shading in there. We also see a dotted line. We want to know what is the inequality for that graph. Well, I'm going to start off by writing in slope-intercept form because that's going to be a little bit easier. So, in order to write the slope-intercept form, I need the slope and I also need the intercept. Well, I notice that the slope here is 1 over 1. Notice from one point to another point, we're going down 1, over 1, down 1, over 1, down 1, over 1. So the slope of this line is 1 over 1. I can also tell what the y-intercept is. The y-intercept is right here. And the y-intercept is a positive 1, so plus 1. So right now I've got slope-intercept form. Notice I have not put an equal sign because this is not an equation. This is an inequality. And I notice the shading is to the bottom. And anytime I have shading to the bottom, I need to use a less than symbol. Now sometimes I'm going to need an equal sign along with that less than symbol. Sometimes I don't. This time I don't because this is a dotted line. The only time I need an equal sign is when it's a solid line. So this is the inequality for this graph. The only problem is it's in slope-intercept form. I'm going to change it so that it's in standard form. Standard form is this one right here. AX plus BY equals C. So I'm going to move the X over to the other side. So now it becomes negative X plus Y is less than positive 1. Can I leave the answer like that? No, I've got a problem. Anybody knows what the problem is here? Negative. We can't have a negative X. So we're going to fix that real quick. All we're going to do is take this whole thing and multiply it by a negative 1. That'll take care of the negative X. A negative times another negative makes it a positive X. A negative 1 times Y is a negative Y. And a negative 1 times a positive 1 is a negative 1. Don't forget, anytime you multiply or divide by a negative number, what do we have to do with the inequality symbol? You got to switch it. You got to flip it. So now it's not less than anymore. Now it's greater. So this right here is the inequality that describes the graph in standard form. So that right there is our solution to number 16. All right, we're moving on to number 17. Wesley and I are playing a math game, and these are the steps they're given. Step number 1, we're going to multiply a number by 6, then subtract 4. So let me start there. They're going to take a number, multiply it by 6. So that would be 6x. That's a number multiplied by 6. Then they subtracted 4. So here's the minus 4. We're subtracting 4. Step 2 says they divided the result by 2. So they took this whole thing right here and they divided it by 2. Step 3 says they add 3 to the result from the second step. So all of this that I've written down, we're going to add 3 to it. That's step number 3. It says if the final answer is 16, what was the original number? So basically they're telling us it's equal to a 16. So this is the equation that we're working with. Now, we've got one of 3 methods that we can use to solve for x. We can graph it and find the intersection. We can use that equation solver that we were just using, or we can solve it algebraically. Either one of those would give us the correct answer. I'm going to go ahead and do it algebraically so you can see my steps. First thing I'm going to do is move the 3 to the other side. And then I'm going to do that by subtracting. When I subtract 16 minus 3, I get a 13. Then I need to get rid of this 2 down at the bottom. And since they're dividing by 2, the opposite of dividing by 2 is to multiply by 2. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 2, which is going to leave me with a 6x minus 4 equals 13 times 2 is 26. Now I'm going to add 4 to that 26. 26 plus 4 is 30. Divide by 6. 30 divided by 6 is 5. So the solution here is 5. That was the original number. Now remember, I could have used the graphing method as well, or I could have also used the equation solver. Either one of those would give me the same answer, 5. All right, moving on to number 18. It's a lot like number 17. We have an equation, and we need to solve for x. Now, to me, I said, it looks like a lot of work for me to do algebraic. So I think I'm going to try one of our other little methods here. So I want you to choose one of the methods that we covered. We can either graph it and find the intersection, or you can use the equation solver. I'm going to let you go ahead and decide which one you want to use. You go ahead and find the answer for me, and then we'll see if you got it right. Again, use either the equation solver or graphing the left side in y1, the right side in y2, find the intersection. Whichever method you like better. And I believe this one comes out to be a decimal, guys. So if you see a decimal or fraction, don't panic. You're okay. If you do get a decimal, go ahead and round your decimal to 2 decimal places. 2 decimal places. All right, let's see what we came up with. The solution to number 18. Solution to number 18. John, did you get an answer yet? Almost. Kristen, what did you get? Nothing yet. Randy, what did you get? 0.29. If we round this, it should be 0.29. 0.29. There's our solution. This is number 8. By the way, Randy, what method did you use? They both, okay. And they both came out to be the same number, right? All right. Okay, we got 2 more to look at. Number 19 says here that Michelle's cellular phone company offers a plan that allows 300 minutes to use for $29.95 per month, and they charge another 21 cents for each additional minute. All prices include tax and fees. Michelle has budgeted $50 for her month for calls on her cellular phone. What is the maximum number of minutes that she can use her cell phone each month without spending more than that $50? All right, so this is what they're going to charge her. For those 300 minutes, they're going to charge her $29.95 per month. So no matter what, you're going to get charged $29.95 per month. But on top of that, we're also going to have to pay 21 cents for each minute. Now, how many minutes? We don't know that yet. But we do know when we total this up, she can't go over $50. So I'm going to set this equal to 50. All right, so we're going to solve for n. So let's start by subtracting the $29.95 from the $50. So this is gone. So $50 minus $29.95 turns out to be, what is that? $20.05. Then I'm solving for m, so now I'm going to go ahead and divide by 21 cents. So $20.05 divided by 21 cents turns out to be 95.47. But usually when they charge you, they round off their minutes. So if we're going to round off our minutes, we're going to say that the most you can talk on the phone is 95. So she could be on the phone for 95 minutes without going over that $50 that she has. 95 minutes. All right, last one here, number 20. They want to know what is the slope of the linear equation 100x minus 65y equals 30. Right now that equation is in standard form. We're going to convert it into slope-intercept form so that we can find its slope. So I'm going to start by moving the 100x over to the right side. So now I've got negative 65y equals negative 100x plus 30. Now I'm going to go ahead and divide everything by negative 65. That cancels. We got y equals a negative 100 divided by a negative 65 that can be reduced. And if you use your math button to reduce that, you should get a positive 20 over 13. Same thing over there on the other fraction. 30 divided by negative 65 can also be reduced. That turns out to be a negative 6 over 13.
How do we reduce in the calculator?
You type in the fraction first. And then you go ahead and hit math. And the very first one says convert it to a fraction. Or it's simplified. And then it reduces it. Now remember, the question was, what is the slope? So the question is, which one of these fractions is our slope? Slope here is the number in front of the x. That's the 20 over 13. So the answer to number 20 is 20 over 13. Now remember, I could very easily change this on the test and ask you for the y-intercept. I could give you a whole new equation. So make sure you read the questions carefully. All right, got any questions on number 20? All right, test will be on Thursday, guys.
Can I see the first part of the review? I wasn't here.